It is that time of the year again, or that time of the month, for our book feature on Morning Live. This morning we are in conversation with the Johannesburg-based book club called Overbooked, defining themselves as literary love affair consisting of a total of 8 members. The club has been in existence for just over a year now. They have read and discussed a number of African black authors in the past 12 months, and this includes books such as Rosie Motene's Reclaiming the Soil, Malebo Misbehave, as well as Intruders by Mohale Mashigo. Just to mention a few, Isabel, Nkosi and Matlhodi Ramatlhape are representatives of the club, and they're here in studio to tell us more about their year-long literary journey. Ladies, it's great to have you here in studio. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having us.
I'll start with you. It's been a year.
Yes.
Take us through just some of the highlights that you guys have had and moments that have really solidified this sisterhood or book clubhood that you guys have going.
I'll start with our closing ceremony for the year. Yes. When we had Upile with us. We kind of spent the day with Upile, which was quite lovely, going through her writing process and how it comes about that she puts those books together and her poetry. So yeah, that's my highlight for the year to start with. But over and above it is getting to spend times with female that are in the same thinking space. It's discussing what we're actually going through, because when we read African literature, we kind of reflect on what is going through around us in the world, especially in Africa. So those are the best times for me.
All right, let's now take it back to the beginning. It's been about a year now that you guys have had this book club. How did it come about?
So actually, I've just always been that person that reads a lot and bombard people with these book stories. And every time when I did that, I was always met with, why don't you start a book club? You know, and then I joined this PR agency that I work at, which I was working with Matlhodi, and every time like, I'm reading this book, this is what's happening, and she's like, start a book club, I'll be your first member for the team. And that's literally what happened. I remember I was on my WhatsApp stories getting people to vote for different names, like, which name do you think it should be? But I think above that, just having people to share their stories with, it was very important for me to build some sort of sisterhood, to read stories that reflect on who we are. You know, representation is everything. To read books that are about you, sort of like coming back home to yourself, which it has been a beautiful, beautiful day.
Let's talk about how members or people who want to become members can be a part of this book club.
Pretty much, it's a closed book club as such. It's like we invited people.
The outsider.
No, not as such. They are welcome, but it just felt because we wanted to build on that sisterhood thing. So we wanted it to be a close knit, like a commitment thing for people to go like, you know what, I want to be part of this thing. I want to be part of the book club, so that we. It's like a close-knit family. So, but then when we want, which we're gonna open up for a few members for the next year in 2020, we just wanted to open up, you know, like get people with different perspectives and all of that. But
like right now, I feel like you're gonna be like, hey, outsider, you're not welcome here.
Not at all. When we open it, we open it for everyone else.
Okay,
but once you are in, you need to be committed and be in, so that we can build something. Because if we constantly just open up to people, then we're not gonna have a running thing, you know.
I see. Let's talk about some of the books that you guys have read. What are some of the books that you guys have shared as a book club that have caused, you know, those discussions where we are in there, it's getting heated, we are, you know, just within the story?
Her Heart by Tumelo Moleleki.
And what was it about that book?
What
was it about that book that got you guys?
When you get into that book, you need to immerse yourself in it, because it goes through a whole lot of different characters within the book, and all of them are linked in one way or the other. And that linkage practically is the heart, if I'm not going to tell the story, but what got us about the book is how she portrays the characters and how they are linked together one after the other, and how she tells the story. Just, From that, we had a lot of discussions, because there are a lot of, I wouldn't say racial issues, but there's a race, something about race that's portrayed in the book as well, that we had, it touched us in a different way. There's something about relationships that we are very strong about that touched us in a different way in the book. So it was a great discussion.
All right, so when is the next meeting, and what book are you guys reading?
So we were sort of closed for the year when we hosted Upile, celebrating our 1 year, and it was more of a self-care workshop some sort,
yeah.
because you know Upila's poetry is all about that. And for now we're actually thinking of getting together for one last time at the Abantu Book Festival.
Yes.
Because we're gonna be
Good
there,
idea.
so we might as well just like close it off with a bang.
All right, so for people who are thinking of starting a book club, but they don't know how to, or people who are looking to join a book club, what advice do you have for people who actually want to start a book club? But how do people who are also sort of coming from the outside, doing a book club, integrate themselves into the group and fall into building that strong sisterhood or brotherhood?
Well, for me, if like my advice would find like-minded people. I feel like commitment is the biggest thing, because it's quite disappointing. You set up a date and you say, let's meet, and people have other things
Or people
to do.
come and they just drink the wine and they don't discuss the
Oh, they
book.
haven't read the book.
They haven't read
and
the
you know, they
book.
get this like, so what's this book about?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I'm not finished. I'm on page 5. So I think the biggest thing for me is find like-minded people, people that will be committed, people that love, man, just love reading and reflecting and just getting together and just building that literary sisterhood.
Having a good time.
Yeah.
And having a good time. I mean, we don't always drink wine.
It's not all nerdy, right? And
No,
boring and banal.
no.
Yeah.
I think that's why we emphasize on the sisterhood thing. It's like coming together and just sharing our different perspective, reading that work and then reflecting, what does it mean to you? What did you take away from that? I think that's the most important. Because we try, you know, there's like this jargon, people, it's like people that read, they throw these big words around and all of that. And to some, it feels so close-knit. So if you don't read a lot or you're not a feminist and all of that, so that it's not the space for you. And it's not that. It's about the storytelling. It's about reading the
Absolutely.
stories that resonate with us and coming together and talking about why does it resonate with us.
And you need to be a book lover. You really need,
Absolutely.
personally, on your own,
Yeah.
you need to want to read, because we read books, we don't all choose the same books. We alternate around the group who chooses a book. We don't all choose the same book. So if you're going to choose a book that I don't like, it's very hard for me to get into it. But because you're a book lover and you want to immerse in the conversation, then you're generally going to read the book and finish it off. So
Yeah.
you
It's
really
always
need to be a
about the
book lover.
expansion of the
Yes,
mind.
yes.
Thank you so much, ladies.
Yes,
Okay,
thank you for having
now that
us.
you guys have been so nice, I think I'll consider joining you guys.
Join us.
Thank you so much. That's Isabel, Nkosi and Matlhodi Ramatlhape from the Johannesburg-based Overbooked Book Club. And we're just in conversation about the formation of the year-long club, as well as their passion for literature.